1,500 agents said, no, you're not an actor. His first 3 scenes led to nothing, but he never gave up. Sly sold his first script, Paradise Alley, for $100. That money didn't last long. The last thing he had left was his dog. He got $25. That was rock bottom. He cried, and soon after, watched a fight between Muhammad Ali and Chuck Wepner. Wepner went 15 rounds but was pounded to a pulp. It inspired Sly, and he wrote for 20 hours straight the entire Rocky movie. Tried to sell it, but nobody wanted it. Too predictable, too sappy. Sly saved those comments and read them to himself the night he won the Oscar. Sly never gave up. One day, 2 guys offered to buy the script for $125,000. Sly said with one condition, I'm Rocky. No way. We need a star like Ryan O'Neal to play Rocky. Can you imagine? The same guys called him back and offered him $250,000 not to star in his own movie. Sly said no. They countered with $325,000. Sly said no. They compromised. $35,000, points in the movie, and Sly would play Rocky. Rocky has grossed over $225 million and the entire franchise over $1 billion. What's your Rocky moment, folks? What's your vision? Your unstoppable success? You were born to be a money master. The time is now to take massive action.
Let's go over to Don in Odessa, Florida. Don, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding.
Hey, Steve. Thank you.
You bet. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I'm a subscriber to your service, and I just want to let you know that I sure do appreciate what you've done for me.
Wow. Thank you very, very much.
The Trader's Edge with your host, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, all you wonderful money masters out there. Happy Tuesday to you. I hope you're having a great day, and thanks so much for joining us. We're ready to get rocking and rolling, and special thanks to the guys in the production area, Steve and Al. Hopefully, folks, you caught that segment that was just done on TigerTV. If not, check it out. We're going to replay that on tomorrow on Wednesday, and just really a cool job. It's so great to be surrounded by such wonderful folks around here. And, that story, if you take a look at it, right now I've got 3 different openings for the shows that I do. And each of them really are meant to be, metaphors, if you will, and actual true life expiring moments that actually inspire you. They absolutely inspire me. And if you're looking for a way when you get out of bed, to have a big vision, sometimes it's just easier to pull on stories like that. Now, actually the cool thing, and we talk about how you manifest things into your life. So I was looking to be able to expand the different openings that we use for the Trader's Edge show. And so I remembered the story about Rocky Balboa. And this was last week, in the middle of the week. So I started putting all of that together. And then one of our guys, Steve, in the production room helped me with, he put together the whole music behind the voiceover that I did. And then Al worked tireless hours putting together the actual video to kind of coordinate with it. Because, it's visual. Everything is visual. Learning is visual. That's why we want you to be able to have access to TigerTV. It's why we're going ahead and porting it over to the different devices that we have, whether they're iPhones or Google devices or pads, whatever it is that you might have, so that you can take this show with you live. You can watch the archive show. This show is archived on channel 14. And so, they help put that together. Now, what I'm talking about as far as manifesting things in your life, how when you really focus on something, trust me, there was a lot of focus put in here by 3 guys. A lot of focus to try to make this thing, unique and wonderful. And so last night, after doing the Tom shows from 4 to 6 and stopped and grabbed a bite to eat, when I got back home, turned on the television. It was kind of in the background because I was looking at the markets just to see what was going on. And lo and behold, one of the channels that was on, I'm not even sure which channel, they were talking about how 35 years ago yesterday was when Rocky was released. So I had no idea, that it was the 35th anniversary, I believe was, well, I'm not going to go back and do the math, but 35 years ago today is when that movie was released. So, when I say talk about manifesting, just a little fact like that. In fact, the dog that's actually in the movie that Al has, that's his dog. That's the dog that he actually sold. That's not part of the voiceover because, it's already long enough, if you will, the unique thing about that story is the mere fact that he had sold his dog and went back and bought it, and he spent almost about 80% of the money that he actually got up front to get his dog back. And his dog, which gives him unconditional love, just like we do here at TFNN. We give you unconditional love. In fact, that's really the way that you should be giving love out there. So I want you to be able to be inspired. We're going to work on 2 other segments just simply so that Monday through Friday, we've got different inspiring moments, and I want you to have an inspiring moment in your life. And, one of the things I talk about so much, folks, is the power of one. And that power of one is really the power of you. I teach a system which is a money management system which helps you to really limit your loss and maximize your gains. I hope that you're trading a system like that. But this show and everything else that we do is more than just about trading or investing, or more than just about the money management aspects of this business, at least as far as I'm concerned. To me, it's really about the power that you have within yourself. And I want you to be able to have unstoppable success. I want you to be able to have a big vision. And whatever that vision is, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish today, what I want you to do is I want you to get rid of the ants. The ants are those automatic negative thoughts, and what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and take whatever that vision is, if it's success in the market, if it's something you're doing in your personal life, if it's something new, if you feel a little bit uncomfortable, that's a beautiful thing, because what it means is you're about to grow, and that's what life is all about. Folks, the power of one, you only have one life. So what are you doing? It is absolutely time to take massive action. I start off my day by looking at my favorite spot. It's right over my right-hand shoulder out here, and hopefully you've got a favorite spot as well. So one life, folks, and coming into Thanksgiving, and one of the easiest ways to get started is to just go back and take a look at the inspiring moments that you've had in your life. It doesn't matter what age you are. I promise you that you have things in your life that you are grateful for that, quite frankly, you've probably taken, just for granted. Don't do that. Create a list. Create a long list of all those things that you can be grateful for, that you should be grateful for. And I tell you, and then lift your chin up, and you will live such a wonderful life. And when the universe decides to throw a curveball at you, and trust me, the universe is always testing us, always throwing curveballs, just like the markets. If you're listening to the show and you are listening to see what the markets are doing, the markets are always throwing us a curveball. They're always testing us, and that's what life is all about. And what you want to be able to do is you want to make decisions from a place of strength. And that's what having a vision is all about. That's what having belief in yourself. And I absolutely want you to believe in yourself. I want you to believe in the tools that we are able to teach you here at TFNN. And if the tools are new to you, that's good, because that means you're going to grow. Doesn't mean that the light bulb is going to go off right now, but it does mean that we've got access to different coaches like myself and services, whether it's Tom, whether it's myself, Larry, Basil, David White, Ken Shreve, and we've got them all today. In fact, we got Victor Jones. This is Tuesday, so you've got the options hour. You got Ken Shreve today, Tom, myself. And so, just stick around, buckle in, if you will. The markets are always moving and grooving right now. In the futures market, you've got the Dow futures down about 42. That's after being up, a bit, maybe 50, 60 points overnight. So we've already had a 100-point swing, if you will. You have the NASDAQ futures down 12. You've got the S&P futures down about 4. The Russell 2000 down a couple points. If we take a quick spin around the world, you had the DAX right now is off 34 points. The FTSE up 9, pretty flat. In Asia, relatively flat market last night. The Shanghai down about a point. You had the Hang Seng up 25 points, 0.14%, and the Nikkei down about 33 points. So relatively flat, and I think everybody's just simply, after yesterday, everybody's just simply trying to see, what direction is the U.S. Going in. And folks, what I have up on my screen here, this is a chart that I shared with you yesterday. There was a little bit more information on this chart here yesterday. This is the S&P E-mini contract. This is the 120. This is the continuous contract that I've got out here. And what it helps you to see here, it helps you to see really 3 different patterns. And the first pattern started over here. This was a Gartley pattern in this light blue area, and a Gartley pattern. It was one of those patterns that works 70% of the time. 70% of the time, folks. Would you like to trade? Let me pose that question to you. Would you like to trade a system that works 70% of the time? How many folks have got their hand held up out there? If you could trade a system that worked 70% of the time, would you use that system? I hope the answer is yes. Well, in this case here, when you set up a Gartley, there's really two things. There's several different outcomes. The first outcome that you're always looking for, and I see this happen way more than 70% of the time, you're going to get a bounce to the first Fibonacci sacred number 0.382. That's just a normal bounce. The second thing is you're typically going to get a bounce then to the 0.618. Now, as you're coming to that 0.618, we always look at the size of the candle. If you're coming into that area with a long-range bar, a wide candle, if you will, that's telling you you're going to go to that third Fibonacci area, which is the 0.786. Now, you come into that with a little bit of steam, whether it's volume, whether it's a wide-range bar. What that's telling us is that Gartley, buy or sell, is setting up a new A to B equals C to D. And that is exactly what the Gartley that we started off with that really went all the way back to the highs that were made on October 27th, which we all know is an important date around here because of the planetary index aspects that were occurring on October 26th. And there's a, one-day orb at least on both sides of that, folks. So that's that first that's the first blue area, if you see. You then have really the second blue area here, if you will, that set up a butterfly pattern. So that the butterfly pattern, is where you extend beyond what I'll call our X marks the spot point, where you actually begin looking at the patterns. In this case here, that was occurring at about 3:30 in the morning on November the 10th. And so what you had was a 1.272 expansion. And what you can see was it moved up. And if we just simply go measure that from the top to the bottom, you will see that the 0.382 of that butterfly came in at 1230.45. Where does the S&P bounce to? It bounces to 1229.75. Folks, that is absolutely outstanding. That is how it works. We're not looking to be able to hit the exact number. You're not going to sell at the top, and you're not going to buy at the bottom. We absolutely sell greed, and we buy fear. And that was a wonderful thing because you knew that was going to happen. Now, when the market moved back down, what happened here, which was so important, was you had this gap as you were coming right back to that 1.272 area. A gap is just like a wide-range bar. It's telling you you've got some real pressure. Well, what that was setting up was this yellow area that you see out here, and that was setting up a larger 1.272 butterfly pattern. And if that fails, and right now, we're basically in that failure pattern. You can see it's just hanging out right in this general area, which is in the general area right now. You're trading out at 1186, 1187, and so it's right in the general area. Maybe it's just a little bit above that. But if that breaks, where we know that the ES Mini is going to go down to would be a 1.618 butterfly. We can go take a look at those numbers, but how many of you folks out there would trade a system where you could win 70% of the time? Would you like to understand Gartley's butterflies? Folks, I'm one of those coaches that can help you do that. In fact, my newsletter, folks, we'll come back, we can take a look at that. It right now, 69% of the time has winners. That's because I trade these patterns for myself and my clients. We'll be right back, folks, 877-927-6648.
It's always better when we're together.
X Story Gold Mines, an NYSE Amex-listed company trading under the symbol XG, is slated to be the newest gold-silver producer in Argentina. X Story is forecast to produce more than $250 million in bullion annually, beginning in 2013, at a cash cost of less than $200 for each ounce of gold produced. That forecast will make X Story one of the highest margin operators in South America and a sector leader in the mining industry. X Story has $50 million in its treasury, having spent over $60 million to date on drilling and engineering. The ultimate size of its Argentina discovery could be determined by year-end as results from the 6 drills operating at the site are fully assessed. To find out more about X Story Gold Mines and their exciting growth potential, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE Amex under the symbol XG.
TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of investment newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakout gains. Go to TFNN.com today, click Investment Newsletters, and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
Looking for some extra cash to help pay off some of your bills? Let Tiger Metal Exchange convert your unwanted jewelry to cash. We pay out 80% of the market price for gold. Our payouts are the highest in the industry, more than double our largest competitors. And we've created the safest, easiest, and most straightforward process for converting your jewelry to cash. Log on to TigerMetalExchange.com and get your free scale, your free eye loop, and get the cash you deserve now. We provide a free online calculator that converts your jewelry to cash at up-to-the-minute spot prices. We insure your items for up to $75,000 per shipment free of charge. We videotape the entire valuation process so that you can view it online. You can call us toll-free at 866-618-8888 or log on to TigerMetalExchange.com. Let Tiger Metal Exchange put more cash in your pocket without ever leaving the comfort of your home. Join the list of thousands of satisfied customers and go to TigerMetalExchange.com. It's the only click you need to make. Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pezzavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
Give the gift of silver. This holiday season, TFNN and Great Panther Silver want to give you the gift of silver. From now until December 30th, TFNN will hold a drawing once a day, 5 days a week, business days only, and one lucky entrant will receive one of these beautiful coins that we will mail to whomever you desire. Winning one of these extraordinary coins could not be easier. There's no contest and no gimmicks, just a simple drawing, allowing you to give the gift of silver this holiday season. Go to the front page of TFNN.com for details. This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Don't forget, you can test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
It absolutely is, folks. Welcome back to the Trader's Edge, 877-927-6648. Right now, you've got the gold up 16, silver up 64 cents, platinum up $14, light sweet crude is up 84 cents, and King Dollar. And if you're watching us on Tiger TV, you got we're paying homage to the King Dollar right here, Mr. Tom O'Brien, and right now King Dollar is a little flat. And if we go take a look at the actual U.S. dollar index, folks, we'll see we're trading out at 78.43. And what you can see here is you can see this little uptrend that the dollar is in. It got into this, began this uptrend channel right on the 27th of October. You know, that was when we had that P index date coming as well. So what we can also say, just like when we're taking a look at the tops on these markets, the October 27th date, whether we're taking a look at the New York Stock Exchange, the S&Ps, the Dow, it's also an important date here for the dollar index. As long as that area holds and it's in this up channel here, folks, what you're going to see is continued pressure on the markets. And, you know, King Dollar is likely on the rise, whether it's fundamentally or technically. You know, and fundamentally because right now, how many of you out there want to go buy a bond from Italy or from Greece, you know, or from Germany or from France out there? And if they can't find folks to buy those bonds, they're going to have to monetize that debt just like we did here in the U.S. And when you weaken that euro, folks, the euro is the biggest portion, significant portion of the U.S. dollar index. And so how you can correlate this, you can take a look at what's going on with the euro-U.S. dollar currency pair. You can take a look at the yen and the Great British Pound, if you just focus on those three of the basket of 6, you will then understand what's going on. In this case here, until this channel line is broken, you will continue to see, pressure on the markets, pressure on price. And if we just simply use just the Fibonacci retracement going from the top of the dollar, which is the October 4th, and I say the top that we're looking at with regard to where there's a swing point, where there's a change in market trend, you'd go take a look at October 4th down to the November 27th area. You can see we're above the 0.618 area. And so what that says is we're on our way to 79.24. You're trading out at 78.46 in the dollar. That will absolutely put pressure, continued pressure on these markets. Does it happen overnight? Absolutely not. You can see, we're in this channel. You can see the dollar, move up today. I would expect to see that. That's the way that it looks like it wants to continue trading. It'll move up, and then we're going to come into a couple of lunar aspects. One, tomorrow you've got the moon at perigee, which is furthest from the center of the earth. And then on Friday, you've got the new moon. And, you talk about systems that can produce about a 70% win rate. Well, 70% of the time, coming into Thanksgiving, it's an up day. So, if you're hanging around and you're looking to be able to trade that, would you take a trade where 70% of the time that you would win? Now, here's the deal. Thanksgiving comes once a year. But my trading system, that's the gift that keeps on giving, folks. That gift keeps on giving every single day that we're in the market. And right now, what I've got up on my screen and what I want you to understand, not just about my system, how about the system that you trade? This here is what I'll call the holy grail. This is the roadmap to understand where you've come from and where you're going to. Because when you understand the system that you trade and what its expectancy is, and when patterns set up, you simply go ahead and pull the trigger and you get into the trade because you're going to have a distribution of wins and losses. Because having a distribution of wins and losses, folks, that's nothing more than just simply having a money tree in your backyard. And how many of you out there want a money tree? How many of you don't have a money tree? If you want this money tree, you just send me an email, steve@tfnn.com, and I am happy to supply you with that money tree, folks. But what you want is you want to make sure that whatever system you're trading, that you know what the expectancy is. I keep all of the data, all the records. So far we've had 69 closed trades since I started this newsletter service going back in July. It's a trading system that I've been trading forever. And what you'll see here is we've got 65% of the trades have been winning trades, 29% where we've lost less than 1%. And when you understand the power of risk, folks, all we're doing here is we're risking 1% or less on each of our trades. Every now and then, and in our case here, 6% of the time, we've got stopped from more than that 1% that we had out there. We play the triples, we play the doubles, we play whatever it is that makes sense that's setting up. And in that case there, our factor, we lost only 1.46 times what we had risked out there. And what that does, folks, is when you understand this table and you want to understand it about your system for everything that you trade, what this will give you is a factor. In this case here, the factor of my trading system, 0.43. Well, we're likely going to do, we've done about 69 trades in 5 months' time. We're likely going to do about 140 trades if this volatility keeps up. The amazing thing, folks, that turns into about a 60% return on your capital. Folks, 877-927-6648. When we get back, we'll go take a look at these markets, see how they're going to open. We'll be back in just a bit.
It's always better when we're together.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. If you want to get great trade setups in equity as well as the option market, come over to TFNN.com and test drive my daily newsletter, Market Insights, for 2 weeks absolutely free. Each trade setup comes with a profit projection as well as stop placement. Included in Market Insights is a Twitter alert service. This allows you to take advantage of intraday setups. Volatility is back in the markets. What does that mean to you? To me, it spells short-term opportunity each and every day. The days of trending up on lighter volume are gone. We have come off the highs with volume across the globe. Don't get caught in a complacency trap. Many of the indices have given back 2 months of trading in 1 week. We have a trader's market. You can take advantage of this trader's market by test driving my daily newsletter, Market Insights, free for 2 weeks. Market Insights will give you the edge you're looking for in the markets. Go to TFNN.com, under newsletter, hit the Market Insight tab for your 2-week free test drive right here, right now.
Homeowners, did you know a burglar could break into your home and get away in just 5 minutes? A locked door may not be enough to keep a thief out of your home. Think about what you can lose, and then think about this. Now you can get a free security system monitored by ADT, the leader in home security. Pick up your phone now and get free hardware, free medical and fire alert, and free activation. It's an $850 value. Just call Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer, at 1-800-949-8207. You'll get 24-hour protection, and there's no cost for parts or activation. So call now about a free security system monitored by ADT. Call 1-800-949-8207. $99 installation charge. 36-month monitoring agreement at $35.99 a month. Call for terms and conditions to this offer and protect your home license numbers. Call now. 1-800-949-8207. That's 1-800-949-8207.
Did you know that the price of gold is up over 24% this year, while the GDX, the Market Vectors Gold Miners ETF, is actually down 1.4% this year? Not all gold stocks are created equal, and not all gold stocks move with the price of gold. In October, Tom O'Brien recommended a buy of FCX in his gold report, and only 6 trading days later advised his clients to close the position, profiting almost 22% in this one trade. During the same 6 trading days, the price of gold was barely up 5%. Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, gives investors the inside edge they need to profit in this gold market. Each Monday morning, Tom issues a gold market update at around 9:30 a.m., then issues a full report each Tuesday afternoon. For as low as $75 per month, you can gain access to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. To order your gold report with a free 30-day trial subscription, log on to TFNN.com today or call 877-518-9190.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower your volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angelo O'Brien, financial advisor and certified financial planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
To the races. You've got the Dow opened up. It's down 35 points. S&P's down about 3.5. You've got the composite down 4. Small caps down a point, and the NDX 100 down 2 points as well. Now, what I've got up on my screen here, folks, and you want to really take a look at this, I've got the S&P 500. This is the daily chart, and you know we've been following this. And what I've got here, what I've shown here, what's really important to understand is that, you know, we were taking a look at these bullish or bearish engulfing patterns that we had set up here on the S&P 500. We had the first one that took place on September 1st, and the top and the bottom of that, you know, become our support or resistance lines, if you will. We had the second one that showed up and reared its head on October the 17th, and now we're trading below those areas. That's the blue line, in essence, that you see on my screen here. And so now what we've got is we've got that to act as a resistance area. And so we'll want to watch and see how that trades during the day. What I also have is maybe the next resistance area here. And, you know, we take a look at, I primarily use Fibonacci, 382, 618, 786 areas as just normal retracements. It's just a normal breathing pattern that goes on in the marketplace. And we're trading down below the 0.382 area as we speak. And what I also was taking a look at is these tops that we had out here. And the tops going back to the September, August time frame, so August 31st, you know, all the way into the September time frame. And I just simply used that as my first line. Now, what I went ahead and did last night was I just simply drew in a channel here from that being the low, because that, as you can see on the angle coming down, you can see yesterday how we hit that and how that held, and that looks to be, really the last line of defense, if you will, from a support standpoint. And if that area breaks, what that does is that's going to signal that the S&P 500 wants to go down and test that October 4th area. Why do I say that? Because that's where you've got volume, you've got high volume, it's an untested low, and if you get down there, you're either going to test the top of it, which is going to be in the 1121 area, which is a 786 retracement. The actual top of that candle is 1123.95, or better yet, what you'd really like to see is you'd like to see go test the bottom, because then when you've really, that's a real test there, because it helps you with regard to your back being up against the wall. The test should be over. When we talk about tests, when you go into high volume bars, whether they're at tops or bottoms, in this case here, if you're bullish, what you want to see is you want to see it come into, let's say, the bottom. The ideal trade would be coming to the bottom of that area at the 1074.77 with lighter volume, reject price, which means it closed back inside on the day of the test. Can it test it for a couple of days? Absolutely. But when you get that first test, that's when you'd fire away. That's when you'd want to understand the money management aspect of trading. And, you want to be able to have access to my position size calculator, because the most important aspect of your trading truly isn't going to be, exactly where you got in. What's going to be most important is understanding your 1% risk. That's the power of you and your money, and then understanding what your position size would be. So you should really check that out by checking out the newsletter. You got 30 days unconditional money back guarantee. Let me teach you something for a 30-day period of time, plus give you some really great trades as well. So right now, you've got the Dow is down 20. You've got the composite up 1, and, we're coming into some lunar aspects. We're coming into a time period where, you would expect to see some type of bounce. And in the S&Ps, we've got a line, if you will, drawn in the sand that it needs to hold. And if this area doesn't hold during the day because of King Dollar or anything else that goes on here, folks, what that's telling you is look out below if you are a bull at this time and you don't have any stops in place. And that's, if you don't have any stops in place, the worst absolute money management principle that you could use, and we don't want you to do that. We want you to always protect your capital, folks. That's what the money game is really all about. 877-927-6648. We get back, we can go take a look at what's popping and what's dropping, or give me a call and we'll take a look at your stock. We'll be right back, folks.
Yeah, we'll look at them stars and we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
Give the gift of silver. This holiday season, TFNN and Great Panther Silver want to give you the gift of silver. From now until December 30th, TFNN will hold a drawing once a day, 5 days a week, business days only, and one lucky entrant will receive one of these beautiful coins that we will mail to whomever you desire. Winning one of these extraordinary coins could not be easier. There's no contest and no gimmicks, just a simple drawing, allowing you to give the gift of silver this holiday season. Go to the front page of TFNN.com for details.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of The Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN.com, author of Mastering Probabilities, a daily investment and trading newsletter, and teacher of the money game. Studies show that 3 out of 5 people are afraid for their life in trading these markets, and the number one reason given is fear of loss. Look, fear stands for false evidence appearing real, and the money game proves it. Lesson number 1, don't risk more than 1% of your trading capital on any trade. Why, you ask? Because 35 trades in a row where you risk 50 cents and make $1 are all you need to double your trading capital, versus the 230 losing trades in a row you would need to bring your balance to $100. Let me teach you more about the money game risk-free for 30 days. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, for your 30-day risk-free trial. You were born to be a money master, and I'll teach you how. At Tiger Metal Exchange, we pay you more for converting your jewelry to cash.
Let's go to Brian in New Jersey. Hey, Brian, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, just want to let you know I did give you some jewelry. My jeweler offered me about $650. I should get a check in the mail tomorrow for about $1,200.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, it's all about honesty when converting your jewelry to cash.
Okay, let's go to Paul in Florida first. Hey, Paul, what's going on?
I want to commend you on the Tiger Metal Exchange. I just did a deal with you guys the other day.
Oh, good.
And very happy.
Well, I appreciate it. Now, did you sell us jewelry or did you buy coins off us?
I sold you jewelry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What we weighted at was less than you guys said, so, you're totally honest.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, we give you the tools to value your gold, and it's absolutely free. Call 866-618-8888 or log on to TigerMetalExchange.com. We've created the easiest, safest, and most honest cash for gold process. Tiger Metal Exchange. It's the only call you need to make.
Here's what people are saying about Tiger TV.
Let's go to John in Tampa. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
A wonderful day. I love your Tiger TV. I watch it every day. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, man, I appreciate you out there watching it. How long have you been watching the Tiger TV?
I'm watching almost a month now, and it's wonderful.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it's cool. You see the charts and everything. Thanks so much for the hard work.
Tiger TV, a great news service from TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by South American Silver Corporation. For more information, just click the South American Silver Corporation banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
Welcome back, folks. 877-927-6648. And stick around today after this show. We've got the Money Master Show with Tom O'Brien and myself. Then I'll be back for one more hour, taking us into Victor Jones, who's here from 12 to 1 today. Then Ken Shreve is the warm-up band for Tom today from 3 to 4. And Tom will take it home from 4 to 6. And had a request to take a look at AMAT, Applied Materials, and you can see I've got that on my screen, and it's from one of our Tigers that's interested in getting into the stock. Now, what you can see from the lows here, and, you're going to, this is probably not going to be a surprise, the lows of October 4th, if you will, from the lows of October 4th all the way to the high that it made up here on November the 11th. If you just simply take your retracement ruler, folks, what you'll see is right now you're at the 0.618 area. But here's the caution sign that you want to be able to take a look at when you're looking at these charts. If you take a look at Applied Materials, what you'll see is you had a gap down from the trading session of November 16th to November 18th. So over the weekend, it revved up a little bit and gap down. You can see you've got this gap here. And a gap is where you've got an open space of price between two trading sessions. You had a second gap, albeit small. It's still a gap, and you had that occur on November the 18th. The low on November 18th was $11.13. And if you take a look at the high on the November 21st, you had a high of $11.10. So you got a gap there. What I would do, what I would wait for, is I would wait to have a third gap. It's very likely that what you'll see in the Applied Materials, and we'll go back and we're going to take a look at the NDX 100, and take a look at that. I'll show you the three gap plays, what oftentimes happens. Wait until, because we're taking a look at the market, and it's signaling to us, and especially when we take a look at the NDX 100, which led us on the way up, and it is leading us on the way down. When we go take a look at that, you'll want to understand why you want to wait for a three-gap play. And the three-gap play may take you just simply down to that 0.786 area, which is 1036. More likely, what you're going to want to see is the test of October 4th, just like in the general market, if you will, and that would be at a high of 1027. So what I would do is I would just keep your powder dry, as they say, and watch for a three-gap play. Why do I say that, folks? Let's go over to the NDX 100. Let's take a look at that chart, which is up on my screen on Tiger TV. And what you're going to first notice here is you're going to notice these yellow areas here where we had a three-gap play on the way up. Now, when you have a three-gap play, you've got three separate gaps that are out there. The first one on the NDX 100, that occurred between the trading session of October 7th and the October 11th time frame. You then had another gap, which occurred between the trading session of October 13th and the trading session of October 14th. Wait, that was the third gap. Let me give you the second gap, if you will. I had a second gap on October the 12th up to the trading session on, let's make sure here, October 11th to October 12th. Let me give those to you again because I just totally messed that up in case you were taking notes and you're going to go back to your chart. First gap between October 7th and the October 10th. Second gap between the October 11th area and the October 12th. And then your third and final gap, if you will, your exhaustion was between October 13th and your October 14th high. Did it trade a little bit higher? It absolutely did. And what happens when you have these three gap plays is you typically, when you do retrace, you're going to come all the way back to your first gap. Well, look what the NDX 100 did yesterday. When the NDX 100 came down and gapped down, it got all the way down to that first gap. Amazing how that works, isn't it? But what happened on the way down here on the NDX 100? Well, folks, you've got two gaps that have taken place. You had your first gap. Now on the way down, you had your first gap that took place between November 16th's trading session and November 17th. You had your next gap take place between November 18th and yesterday, November 21st. So very likely what it is that we're going to see out here is we're going to see a third gap in this as well. It's not going to be today. Well, we know that because the market's already open. But, you know, what you want to do is you want to be able to establish patterns that are out there. When you see a pattern occur once, you're likely going to see that pattern again, whether it's a butterfly or a Gartley, or whether it's retracements of 618 or 786. You know, you're typically going to see those patterns repeat again and again. It's the nature of the chart that you're trading, and what's so cool, it's the breathing pattern. It's just simply normal, and I want you to be able to take, you know, advantage of those areas. And if you take a look at the NDX 100, you can see that I've got this little trend line drawn from the tops going back to the July 26th time frame to the next high that it made here on September the 20th. You know, and then and you can see that came right down here to the gap, and you can see we're trading, you know, below it. You're bouncing right up against it today. Today's trading session is important to see if there's going to be any kind of a breakout, even if the breakout lasts for today, tomorrow, and Friday's trading session. You know, that would be nice. That would be nice if you aren't short and you're convinced that we're going to go down and test the October 4th, then what you're looking for is you're looking for a nice bounce coming into Friday. So you're pulling for that 70% chance to work. And if that doesn't work, folks, you know, that is signaling to us, if you figure that 70% of the time it doesn't work, that's what I like about pattern recognition, is because when it doesn't work, you can also learn that that's a success strategy. You take your loss, and if the trade hasn't gotten too far away from you, you can flip that trade, you know, and understand if the money management piece of it is in place. Understand your reward and your risk and whether or not it makes sense, because this is really all about fishing. It's all about being patient. And so I want you to be patient on AMAT, and I want you to also pay attention to the NDX 100. If we go take a look at, let's go take a look at Apple out here. I haven't looked at that for, you know, for a couple of hours, right? So let's go take a look at Apple out here and see how Apple is trading. And you can see Apple's got a couple of gaps in it as well. And I've been calling for Apple to get down to the 1.272 area. The reason is because we have this island reversal formation. If you go back to, I believe it's February 7th, 2011, you'll see an island formation out there, and you will see that it did a 1 to 1.272, A to B equals CD down. Where Apple got to yesterday was a low of 365.91. The actual AB equals CD extension on this would take you down into the 360, 367. Look, just because it completed that, should you go long Apple? Folks, absolutely not. Right now, what Apple is really doing is Apple is trading with inside that October 4th bar. And until it clears that bar or tests the bottom of that bar, what you want to do is just be paying attention to the Apple trade that's out here. And you especially want to do that if you're taking a look at the Qs, the NDX 100, because you want to understand where, you know, that most heavily weighted stock is, you know, where that is trading. So right now, before we go into break, you got the Dow pretty much flat, just down 3 points, S&P up 2, Composite up 8, the NDX up 6 points, a relatively quiet market going into a holiday, folks. We'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
As Tom says, go long America. Now you can join TFNN and Barnes & Noble to keep money in your community. Purchase Tom's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, your ultimate trading mastery system, before December 31st from your local Barnes & Noble store. And you will be given access to not just one, but 2 exceptional archived courses. Tiger Scaling, the Tiger Butterfly, and Gartley. The Art of Timing the Trade is more than just a book. It's an educational journey that will help you understand the Wall Street greed cycle and learn how to recognize profit from genuine price moves. So, for the cost of just under $30, you will receive in excess of $300 in trading education from Tom O'Brien, TFNN, and Barnes & Noble. And you will be helping to support an important local business, your local bookstore. If you do not have a Barnes & Noble in your community, then go to your local bookstore. We'll be sure to work with them to keep your purchase local. So let's support our local businesses, keep money in your community, and get a great education. But be sure to act now, because you have until December 31st to take advantage of this opportunity. Go to the front page of TFNN.com for details.
Would you like to discover the next great tech stock? David White, TFNN's technology guru, has just launched his new newsletter, The Technology Insider. In his newsletter, David will be looking for those shining stars that may turn into the next Apple, Microsoft, or Cisco. David combines his technology background as a software programmer with his market skills as a successful professional trader to give you this unique newsletter. We're on the verge of the next great tech run. With the Technology Insider, you'll be in front of the run-up and not lagging behind. David is developing a long-term investment portfolio, therefore we're only offering the Technology Insider as an annual subscription with a remarkable price of only $395. That's right, for a little over $1 a day, you'll receive the fundamental technology wisdom and technical trading skills of the Technology Insider David White. What are you waiting for? Go to the front of TFNN.com, click on the link on the front page, sign up for your 2-week free trial, and become a Technology Insider today.
Put the power of the Chapman Wave methodology to work for you. No matter what market you trade, what time frame you trade in, or your trading style, the Opening Call, Basil Chapman's daily market newsletter, is bursting with the information and trades you need to become a more successful trader.
I've been using Basil Chapman's Chapman Wave methodology for several years now. His Chapman Wave can be used for any time period for not only equities, but futures, currencies, commodities. I've been also a subscriber of his Opening Call, which I find an invaluable tool to help me analyze the potential of the market each day. He gives you opportunities to go short and long. It includes recommendations on stocks. I strongly recommend people using the Chapman Wave, and I very, very strongly support the use of his Opening Call.
To find out more about Basil Chapman and his Chapman Wave methodology, and to get your 2-week free trial of the Opening Call, a $64 value, visit TFNN.com today.
Great Basin Gold is a mining company engaged in the exploration and development of 2 emerging gold properties in Nevada and South Africa with a total resource base of more than 23 million gold ounces. Great Basin's Burnstone mine in South Africa opened in February of this year with a resource of 20 million gold ounces, becoming the first mine to open in the historic Witwatersrand Basin in the last 30 years. The Burnstone mine is projected to have a 25-year mine life and is fully financed, with production anticipated to be over 250,000 ounces per year at a cash cost of only $450 per ounce. The Hollister mine in Nevada became fully integrated in the 4th quarter of 2010 with annual production estimates of 110,000 ounces of gold per year over the 8-year mine life at a cash cost of only $527 per ounce. Great Basin Gold is cash flow positive and trades on the Toronto and New York stock exchanges under the symbol GBG.
Catch Tom O'Brien and Steve Rhodes as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to your trading and investing. The Money Masters, next on TFNN.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
Welcome back, folks. Thanks for joining us, and absolutely stay tuned. You got Tom O'Brien and I coming up in the next segment. We're going to the King Dollar, and we'll see what's going on there. Right now, I've got up on my screen here as we tool around the world. I've got the DAX, and the DAX is trading right now out at 5601. Make sure that's right. Yeah, 5601. And where it's trading at, it's trading below the 0.618 retracement area, going back from the October 4th lows. It's not the lowest swing point on the screen that I've got here, but just trying to keep it consistent with what we saw in our marketplace here. And in this case here, the 0.618 would be the 5624 area. And what the DAX is doing, the DAX is setting up a Gartley buy program. It's in the process, or pattern, not program. It's in the process of making an ABC down. That A point starting up here in the DAX at the October 28th high, which was at the 6430 mark. And the next swing point here that it made a low at that I take a look at is November the 10th. Made a low there of 5721. That would be the B point. The C point is where it came up on November 14th. Made a high in the 6116 area. And an A to B equals C to D. Gets you right back to the 0.786 area. So it's making a real nice Gartley buy pattern right here. And, and you want to see how it comes into that 0.786 area. If it's coming in there with a wide range bar, what it starts to scream at us is, one, that what it wants to do is it probably wants to bust through this October 4th area and go back and test the lows. And the lows here in the DAX that it would be testing, it would be going back to the September 12th time frame, the September 13th time frame, this hammer candle, this real nice hammer candle from September 23rd. And that's really what you'd actually like to see it do. So that would be testing the bottom of the October 4th area. So if you see a failure here of this 0.786 Gartley, now oftentimes that will turn into a butterfly pattern. But it's going to turn into a butterfly pattern if you're coming through that 786 area with a wide range bar or some type of volume behind it. So, it's a one world market in the way that they trade. And so it doesn't matter what time of the day, you get home from work, you can be trading these markets, which is really beautiful. If we go take a look at currencies out, and the cool thing is the charts that we look at, they work the same no matter what you trade, whether it's futures, whether it's currencies, whether it's ETFs, whatever it is, folks. You want to be able to use these patterns. You want to be able to have a system where you got a positive expectancy. And so I suggest you try mine out, and because you do get a positive expectancy out of that trading system. If we take a look at the currency pairs, what you've got here, we'll go take a look at the euro and see what's going on here. And the only real reason for pause that I've got is right here when we made the low on the euro, going back to November 17th, and the candle that you had the following day, you had this bullish engulfing pattern that's set up here. What you make at lows, and so now if that gets taken out, which I suspect that it will, I suspect that this is going to fail, and that up channel that we're taking a look at inside the dollar index is going to continue to hold here. And so right now what you've got is you really got the euro trading sideways, possibly to truly set up a huge ABC down and likely a larger butterfly pattern. If I go back, let's just take a look at the retracement. So if we go back to the January 10th lows, all the way up to the highs that were made in the euro in May 4th, and what we would take a look at, you'd be taking a look at the euro getting down in that 125 area. And I suspect, since there is so many problems out there, I suspect we're seeing one huge large ABC going from the highs out there in May down to the forming this ABC here. Let me see here. We're going out of the show. Let me see if I can pull it up, see where that price would get us. That price would get us down to the 124 area. My guess is that sets that big butterfly expansion. Folks, thanks for being here. Stay tuned. Tom and I will be back in about 7-8 minutes. And travel safe this holiday season, folks. We'll be right back.
Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
His whole life, what he wanted to do. For him, it was a chance to inspire others. Life wasn't easy. At birth, he was pulled out by forceps. It's why he looks and speaks the way he does. 1,500 agents said, no, you're not an actor. His first 3 scenes led to nothing, but he never gave up. Sly sold his first script, Paradise Alley, for $100. That money didn't last long. The last thing he had left was his dog. He got $25. That was rock bottom. He cried, and soon after, watched a fight between Muhammad Ali and Chuck Wepner. Wepner went 15 rounds but was pounded to a pulp. It inspired Sly, and he wrote for 20 hours straight the entire Rocky movie. Tried to sell it, but nobody wanted it. Too predictable, too sappy. Sly saved those comments and read them to himself the night he won the Oscar. Sly never gave up. One day, 2 guys offered to buy the script for $125,000. Sly said with one condition, I'm Rocky. No way. We need a star like Ryan O'Neal to play Rocky. Can you imagine? The same guys called him back and offered him $250,000 not to star in his own movie. Sly said no. They countered with $325,000. Sly said no. They compromised. $35,000, points in the movie, and Sly would play Rocky. Rocky has grossed over $225 million and the entire franchise over $1 billion. What's your Rocky moment, folks? What's your vision? Your unstoppable success? You were born to be a money master. The time is now to take massive action.
Let's go over to Don in Odessa, Florida. Don, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding.
Hey, Steve. Thank you.
You bet. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I'm a subscriber to your service, and I just want to let you know that I sure do appreciate what you've done for me.
Wow.
A couple months ago.
Thank you very, very much.
The Trader's Edge with your host, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, traders. Hi, folks. How you doing? And thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Steve Rhodes, and welcome to the Trader's Edge. I absolutely love being here with you. This is my favorite time of the day, my favorite thing to do, because, folks, you know what, I really, really do, I'm grateful for your presence. I really enjoy the fact that I have the opportunity to maybe help you, maybe teach you something, even if you're just watching us on Tiger TV. And what you want to do is you want to go over to the homepage at TFNN.com, click on that Tiger TV button. You can watch this show live because you want to be able to visually see what it is that we're doing. And, it's really all about lessons. So whether it's a life lesson like we have with the Rocky intro. And, again, I just want to say thank you to both Al and Steve for really helping me to put that together. And if you didn't catch the first hour, how you manifest things in your life, I mean, that's really what it's all about. It's all about visualization. Visualization, will do more to help you manifest things in your life than anything else. And as I was telling you, we had this idea last week and put it together, I believe, on Wednesday, then on Thursday, and then even put the entire video piece of it together. Al put that together, over the weekend and yesterday. And then somehow last night when I finally got home, I realized that, just by listening to, I had the television on, and what yesterday marked was the 35th anniversary of the Rocky movie. Some of you folks out there probably were at the theater 35 years ago, seeing Rocky, or maybe it was today, that you were seeing Rocky. My guess is 35 years ago was a Friday, excuse me, when the movie was released. But, it's much more important than that. It's really about, a person who's got a vision of what it is that they want to be able to do with their life. In this case, it was with their life. And the real question is, what is it that you want to do with your life? Because the reality is, happiness comes down to you being happy with who you've become. If you are not happy in your life, folks, it's not because you don't have enough money. It's not because of who is or who isn't in your life. It's not because of how well you do or you don't trade. It's not because of your education. It's not because of resources. It's really all about who you've become. Happiness is just about who you've become, and we want you to be able to have happiness in life. And one of the easiest ways, we're going into Thanksgiving, is I absolutely, just as I'm grateful for your presence here today, I want you to be grateful for everything it is that you have in your life. That means get rid of as Tom says, get rid of the gray, make it black and white, see things the way they are. And then, folks, see them better than they are. Sit down, write out a gratitude list, because I guarantee you, if you want to feel good, if you're not having a good day, all you've got to do is go to your gratitude list. And it's got to be done through visualization, folks. It's not just writing words down on a piece of paper. It's really about taking in that moment. It's about closing your eyes and seeing that flash into your system, into your mind, into your soul, if you will. And the easiest way is to always bring those things forward. Bring those things forward. It's like a movie, and go ahead and put the spotlight on it, make it brighter and bigger, and then take all of those ants, all those automatic negative thoughts, no matter what they are, and take those and make those things darker and make those things smaller. Push those to the back of your mind. And when you do that, folks, you absolutely will have a great day. Now, I'm having a great day. If we look at the markets, right now you've got the Dow's down 57 points. You got the S&P's down 6, the composite down 13. You got the small caps, Russell down almost 5 points. That is, again, leading the way down almost 7/10% down. The New York Stock Exchange down about 6%, 0.6% down. The NDX down only 0.45, and mostly because you got Apple trading up. Apple's about $3.69 right now. And we'll go take a look at what's hot, what's not inside the NDX 100. But what I most want you to do, and I shared this chart with you, I believe I did that yesterday, if not on Friday. And this happens to be one of the charts. I rarely share this information. This is what I do for my newsletter subscribers. They pay good money to be able to understand my thoughts on the marketplace. And it's really not my thoughts. This is really just a matter of being able to map out and chart out what's going inside the market, because you do trade your beliefs. The only thing that you absolutely trade out there are your beliefs. But the question is, where do you get your beliefs from? Now, most of us, in fact, all of us, have a blueprint in life. Our blueprint in life is our wiring system, and it's the reasons why you make the decisions that you do. Well, when you take a look at the markets here, when you take a look at the charts that are out there, that's really what I call the blueprint. So what I'm able to do is I'm able to leave my own belief system, because my belief system is look at the charts. Look at the patterns, and irregardless of what I might believe might be going on fundamentally, what I might hear that's going on through the news media or what have you, always go back to the charts and follow the patterns that are out there. And what you'll see in these charts here, if I blow this up again, if you go back to the 2000 time frame, this is the New York Stock Exchange, and this is a monthly chart. And it's a monthly chart because you cut out a lot of noise. You cut out a lot of the intraday activity that's going on. And on this monthly chart, you can see from 2000, 2003, how the market moved all the way up into the highs of 2007. And then when we came out of that 2007 area, and when we broke the August 2007 lows, and why those were so important was because it was a set of astro aspects that had not been broken for a couple hundred years. In fact, each time that those aspects were around, they marked another new low in the marketplace. And once that was broken, and it was tested for a couple of months, but it was truly broken in the July 2008 time frame. What that did was it confirmed that we were in a bear market. And not only did it do that, folks, you know, if you're looking at my screen here, you can look at this on Tiger TV, it really went ahead and it set up the top side of the range of the down move that went all the way into March 2009. You know, it was March 2009, it was March 6th, 7th, 8th, right around there, where there was a 1.272 butterfly expansion. And I remember I had been short up until that point in time, and I remember we went long. I went long, my brother-in-laws went long, and I remember my brother went long, and I remember, you know, having been short all the way up until that point in time. And we actually went short on March 6th. The turn didn't come until the 9th or 10th. But I do remember the phone calls that I made on Sunday telling these guys, look, even though this is the pattern that's here, you know, all hell could still break loose. And just make sure that you keep your stops in place. And we kept our stops in place, and when we jetted outside of that March low area, obviously, folks, what it did was it started to create the next channel. The next channel that happened to move up towards those August lows from 2007. That's this red line that's going across my screen. And you can see that on the NYSE, we never made it up to the top. That set of aspects that occurred is very powerful. And until we break through that set of aspects, and then the new ones that we have, these were conjunctions and oppositions that occurred back in a very short period of time. It was really over about 3 or 4 days in August 2007. But we had another set of aspects that occurred in the February and March towards April time frame this year. And those happen to mark, in essence, the highs that we've had in the marketplace. And, you know, May 2nd marked the high. But if you take a look at the set of aspects that are out there, these are all conjunctions. Between March 27th and April the 3rd, you had you had 5 of them. And if you go back and you take a look at the February time period, you had 2, 4, 6, 8 aspects back to back like this. I've gone back and checked to see, and I couldn't find, and I went back and studied it to 1800 to try to find the last time that we had that type of set of conjunctions that were all occurring in just a short order period of time, and I couldn't locate that. Now, in my newsletter from last week that I did, what happened is I provided my subscribers with a complete list of the set of conjunctions between now and, I believe, 2013. Why? So that they've got a roadmap to understand when you get towards certain dates what to be looking for in the markets. In this case here, you know, what you want to understand is this new channel that we are inside the New York Stock Exchange, which is a bigger breadth of the marketplace. You know, you want to have a bigger breadth of understanding what's going on. You want to understand the bigger breadth of even your trading. You want to understand your expectancy table, and your expectancy table can't be over a period of just a week or 2 or even a month. It's got to be over a longer series of trades. You got to take a look at it over a year, and I want to be able to teach you the power of that. Whether you use my system or you use your own, you know, you actually want to be analytical, if you will, and truly understand what your system is producing for you. So we are in this downward channel. You can clearly see it. This is not my blueprint trying to convince you of a bear market. This is nothing more than looking at chart patterns and looking at important dates in time, periods of history, and channels that we've got out there to help you identify where it is that you're going. Why would you want to do that? Because if you watch this as you move down towards the bottom of the trend line, if you will, inside this channel, that's where you'd certainly want to take a look at maybe taking a longer-term long position as you just simply move up. And inside these channels, just as we did even as we came down through 2007, you know, in 2007, you really didn't have a chance to really go long. There were days, there were certainly days where we had 900-point swings. But for the most part during the month, it was pretty much a one-way street down. And, so far we don't have that. And if this is an orderly way down, what this is going to do is this is going to give us an ability to be able to play the markets when it's going up and when it's going down. And you want to be able to do that because the idea of a buy and hold strategy isn't here. When we have that next leg up, just like you had going back here in the 2000 time frame, then you can go ahead and do the buy and hold. You can take the dartboard out, take out the stock pages. That's if the Wall Street Journal is still around, or the IBD, and you can take out the dart, throw it at them, and you can probably in a bull market buy almost anything. But folks, in this bear market that we're in, you want to make sure you've got good coaching. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
As Tom says, go long America. Now you can join TFNN and Barnes & Noble to keep money in your community. Purchase Tom's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, your ultimate trading mastery system, before December 31st from your local Barnes & Noble store. And you will be given access to not just one, but two exceptional archived courses. Tiger Scaling, the Tiger Butterfly, and Gartley. The Art of Timing the Trade is more than just a book. It's an educational journey that will help you understand the Wall Street greed cycle and learn how to recognize profit from genuine price moves. So, for the cost of just under $30, you will receive in excess of $300 in trading education from Tom O'Brien, TFNN, and Barnes & Noble. And you will be helping to support an important local business, your local bookstore. If you do not have a Barnes & Noble in your community, then go to your local bookstore. We'll be sure to work with them to keep your purchase local. So let's support our local businesses. Keep money in your community and get a great education. But be sure to act now, because you have until December 31st to take advantage of this opportunity. Go to the front page of TFNN.com for details. TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of investment newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakouts gains. Go to TFNN.com today, click Investment Newsletters, and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of The Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN.com, author of Mastering Probabilities, a daily investment and trading newsletter, and teacher of the money game. Studies show that 3 out of 5 people are afraid for their life in trading these markets, and the number one reason given is fear of loss. Look, fear stands for false evidence appearing real, and the money game proves it. Lesson number 1, don't risk more than 1% of your trading capital on any trade. Why, you ask? Because 35 trades in a row where you risk 50 cents and make $1 are all you need to double your trading capital, versus the 230 losing trades in a row you would need to bring your balance to $100. Let me teach you more about the money game risk-free for 30 days. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, for your 30-day risk-free trial. You were born to be a money master, and I'll teach you how.
X-Story Gold Mines, an NYSE Amex-listed company trading under the symbol XG, is slated to be the newest gold-silver producer in Argentina. X-Story is forecast to produce more than $250 million in bullion annually, beginning in 2013, at a cash cost of less than $200 for each ounce of gold produced. That forecast will make X-Story one of the highest margin operators in South America and a sector leader in the mining industry. X-Story has $50 million in its treasury, having spent over $60 million to date on drilling and engineering. The ultimate size of its Argentina discovery could be determined by year-end as results from the 6 drills operating at the site are fully assessed. To find out more about X-Story Gold Mines and their exciting growth potential, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE Amex under the symbol XG.
Give the gift of silver. This holiday season, TFNN and Great Panther Silver want to give you the gift of silver. From now until December 30th, TFNN will hold a drawing once a day, 5 days a week, business days only, and one lucky entrant will receive one of these beautiful coins that we will mail to whomever you desire. Winning one of these extraordinary coins could not be easier. There's no contest and no gimmicks, just a simple drawing, allowing you to give the gift of silver this holiday season. Go to the front page of TFNN.com for details. This segment is brought to you by BackTech Environmental. For more information, just click the BackTech banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
It absolutely is, folks. Welcome back. 877-927-6648. You get the Dow down 88. The S&P's down almost 9. Composite down 17. Small caps down about 6 points. Apple up about $3. Let's go to our first call. Let's go to Beverly in New Jersey. Beverly, thanks for holding, and thank you for calling.
Hey, Steve. That chart was very powerful.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
It reminds me of an expression I read somewhere years ago, and that is that luck is preparation waiting for opportunity.
Absolutely. I love that expression.
And that. Very powerful. Listen, I have a question coming to you from the entire state of New Jersey.
Oh, Lord.
It's all we are talking about here.
Yeah.
Why is our former governor not in jail?
Yeah, it's who you know, not what you know, and what you did. I think that's what it boils down to. At this stage, I think everybody is, they're circling the wagons, if you will. It's not like he's going to flee town or anything like that, and I think they're just trying to get all the facts together. But it's who you know.
Yeah, well, he just gave a $35,000 plate dinner for Obama as a fundraiser here in New Jersey. That was, I think, in October.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I mean,
sometimes it's who you know, and it's also it's what you know about others. So there's probably a little bit of that too. But it's a sad situation, and for me, it probably couldn't have been more sad because you had the reality. Because I was filling in for Tom yesterday. We had a caller that actually got caught up in that, and is just hoping to be able to get some portion of his money back. And Tom was talking about 6 degrees of separation, or just so close. We're so close to knowing everybody, and that was one of those calls where it's one thing to report on it, and obviously Ed Young, incredible contributor around here, and he seems to be okay as a result of everything. He just simply was fortunate enough to be out at the right time. I love the way the universe works. But, it just hits home a little bit more when you've got a caller that calls in, and is personally impacted. Because this is the Tiger family, if you will.
Well, I know, I spent time on a dairy farm, but I know a lot of the farmers in the Midwest are locked into this thing, and cattle futures, corn, the grains, everything, and they're stuck.
Yeah, no question. Bad scene, and, it's just history that continues to repeat itself. You would have thought that look, it's just history that continues to repeat itself. So what do we do around here? We kind of we're aware of it. We hope that folks don't get too caught up into it. It helps folks to understand that you make sure that whatever it is you're trading, you understand the fine print or the rules. Tom was pointing that out earlier. You do everything you can to safeguard yourself, and then you just keep yourself focused on on the charts if you're trading, and just go from there. But, it's not a bad idea to maybe have, your accounts and have several brokerage accounts, and just make sure that, you're doing everything you can to make sure that they're properly insured, and, and you go from there.
Well, keep us posted.
I will. Beverly, thanks for calling. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Always good to hear from you. And
absolutely.
Look forward to talking to you again. Now, folks, let's go over to the I'm just going to go ahead and go drill down a little bit further. So we were first on the monthly New York Stock Exchange chart, and now what we're on is we're taking a look at the weekly, just to see what we have that's out there. And you may remember that back in the let me see here, was back in the September time frame where I was sounding the trumpets for everybody that was in their 401ks to go to cash. And it's because because most people can't trade, and the 401ks where they're not self-directed, and I just wanted simply where they're being managed by somebody else and you can't go short. And the reason is because I was looking at the New York Stock Exchange again, which is a better breadth of what's going on inside the market. And I was because patterns repeat themselves. And what I was looking at was the candle from August the 12th, the week of August the 12th, which was a real powerful hammer candle. That's a candle you can see this long shadow, this long wick, if you will, and how the bears had control, but the bulls were able to go ahead and push the market up. Real significant to be able to understand the power of that candle. You want to see those at the bottoms of a market or of a move. And, the last time that that showed up on a weekly chart on the New York Stock Exchange was all the way back in the September 08 time period. So if you took a look at that first chart that I had where we saw those channels on a monthly basis and you knew how the market continued to move down, as soon as we broke through that support area, the market continued down in a flurry. In this case here, it was back during the week of September 23rd that we broke through that. Now, did we come above that? We did. Right now, we're still trading into that candle. But, folks, that was the first signal to look out below. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. If you want to get great trade setups in equity as well as the option market, come over to TFNN.com and test drive my daily newsletter, Market Insights, for 2 weeks absolutely free. Each trade setup comes with a profit projection as well as stop placement. Included in Market Insights is a Twitter alert service. This allows you to take advantage of intraday setups. Volatility is back in the markets. What does that mean to you? To me, it spells short-term opportunity each and every day. The days of trending up on lighter volume are gone. We have come off the highs with volume across the globe. Don't get caught in a complacency trap. Many of the indices have given back 2 months of trading in 1 week. We have a trader's market. You can take advantage of this trader's market by test driving my daily newsletter, Market Insights, free for 2 weeks. Market Insights will give you the edge you're looking for in the markets. Go to TFNN.com, under newsletter, hit the Market Insight tab for your 2-week free test drive right here, right now.
Did you know that the price of gold is up over 24% this year, while the GDX, the Market Vectors Gold Miners ETF, is actually down 1.4% this year? Not all gold stocks are created equal, and not all gold stocks move with the price of gold. In October, Tom O'Brien recommended a buy of FCX in his gold report, and only 6 trading days later advised his clients to close the position, profiting almost 22% in this one trade. During the same 6 trading days, the price of gold was barely up 5%. Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, gives investors the inside edge they need to profit in this gold market. Each Monday morning, Tom issues a gold market update at around 9:30 a.m., then issues a full report each Tuesday afternoon. For as low as $75 per month, you can gain access to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. To order your gold report with a free 30-day trial subscription, log on to TFNN.com today or call 877-518-9190.
Are your cable rates rising? Tired of being pushed around by your provider? It's time to push back. Cut the cable and get Dish Network installed with absolutely no equipment to buy. Here's the best part. Packages start at just $24.99 a month for an entire year. That's right. Call now and get Dish Network installed free. Plus your choice of HBO, Cinemax, or Stars free for 3 months. If you call in right now, Dish Network will also throw in free HD for life. PMG Dish, a Dish Network authorized retailer, is waiting for your call and can have you watching TV as soon as tomorrow. Call 800-565-8010. Imagine all your favorite movies, sports, and shows in crystal clear digital quality for far less money, and you won't have to deal with the cable company anymore. At only $24.99 per month, they're practically giving it away. Call now for full details. Call 800-565-8010. That's 800-565-8010. Again, 800-565-8010. Limited time offer, prices, packages, and programming subject to change without notice. 24-month agreement required. Cancellation fees, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. Call for details.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower your volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angelo O'Brien, financial advisor and certified financial planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
Welcome back, folks, and thanks so much for joining us. And any of you that are going to be out on the roads, which is going to be a majority of listeners, please be safe as you are traveling. Have a great time, and absolutely wherever you are, just be present. You know, be grateful for who you're with, and be present, wherever it is that you are. And so just wanted to finish back up here on the NYSE weekly chart so you can take a look at it. It's important to understand these candles and these patterns that are out there because, you're looking for support and resistance. And, I know that fear usually controls, the marketplace and controls your decision-making process, and that's the wrong place to be making your decisions. You want to be able to make them from an area of strength. And it's and what helps you to do that is understanding how to get yourself into a peak mental state. I absolutely teach you how to do that. And when we're taking a look at these hammer candles here that were broken back in the 2008 time frame, and we had the last time that we had that broken was back here in August 12th, 2011. And what that is signaling to me is that this market is going to go lower. That all we've done is we've set up the B to the C point of an ABC down. Now, what I want you to keep attention to is the week of October the 7th, obviously, which would be the week of October 4th, right? Well, what you did on the NYSE is you had this nice bullish engulfing. That means that the top or the bottom should really act as your support area. Now, the first area that we're going to test, the top of that candle, so the top of that month is 70.46.15. Right now, you're trading out on the NYSE. You are trading out at 70.67.14. It's not that many points away. We're going down to, that'd be the 70.46. Now, what you're going to want to wait to see is what happens as the session closes on Friday. Now, we talked about how 70% of the time, and I'll probably do some of the study tonight. Like Tom was saying, I always do the detail work. I don't trust what anybody tells me. I would rather just simply go do the work. It takes a little bit of time, and just prove to myself that whatever I heard or whatever the supposition is, whether it's sell in May, go away in May, come back in basically where you would November 1st, how often that has been working, whether it's a Santa Claus rally, but mostly, what's really going on. That's why I take a look at charts on a longer term, on a midterm. Mostly when I'm off the air, folks, I know what the longer term, I know what the monthly, what the weekly, and what the daily is showing me. And then if you walk in my office, you'll see several monitors, and you'll typically see just the intraday chart. Some will just simply be showing a 1 minute, 2 minute, maybe a 5 minute chart where I'm looking for some type of spike to say, okay, that allows me to follow the money, what's going on, and then watch the behavior of what happens there. Well, here, when we come into this bullish engulf, and again, the top of that is 7,046.15. If we close this week inside of it, what that's going to do, that's going to give you the signal here that the market wants to go down and test the lows of October. In this case here, because we're looking at the candle from the week of October 17th on the NYSE, you're looking at a low of 64.14. And if you just take a look at the longer term, A to B equals C to D, just off of, and what you made up here also as well at the highs in May for the week, and this is the week of May 13th, folks, what you were signaling there and if we go take a look at the NYSE, and every time that you got a bearish engulfing on a weekly chart, it's very helpful to understand the patterns that are out there, because it'll tell you what it did last time. If you believe that human behavior repeats time and time again, we had Beverly calling asking us about, the situation with MF Global, and, people just simply taking advantage. Those things happen time and time again. Well, if you take a look at this, the ABC down takes you into the 5,500 area of the New York Stock Exchange. If we go from the lows of March all the way up to the highs that we had in May, what you're going to see here is that'll get you down below the 0.618. It would be setting up a Gartley buy. And, folks, where that would be taking you, that would be taking you all the way back to May 2009. So, folks, in your 401ks, if they are not self-managed, make sure you know what triggers you need to go to cash. King Dollar in cash is a good thing. We'll be right back, folks.
Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
Give the gift of silver. This holiday season, TFNN and Great Panther Silver want to give you the gift of silver. From now until December 30th, TFNN will hold a drawing once a day, 5 days a week, business days only, and one lucky entrant will receive one of these beautiful coins that we will mail to whomever you desire. Winning one of these extraordinary coins could not be easier. There's no contest and no gimmicks, just a simple drawing, allowing you to give the gift of silver this holiday season. Go to the front page of TFNN.com for details.
Great Basin Gold is a mining company engaged in the exploration and development of 2 emerging gold properties in Nevada and South Africa with a total resource base of more than 23 million gold ounces. Great Basin's Burnstone mine in South Africa opened in February of this year with a resource of 20 million gold ounces, becoming the first mine to open in the historic Witwatersrand Rand Basin in the last 30 years. The Burnstone mine is projected to have a 25-year mine life and is fully financed, with production anticipated to be over 250,000 ounces per year at a cash cost of only $450 per ounce. The Hollister mine in Nevada became fully integrated in the fourth quarter of 2010 with annual production estimates of 110,000 ounces of gold per year over the 8-year mine life at a cash cost of only $527 per ounce. Great Basin Gold is cash flow positive and trades on the Toronto and New York Stock Exchanges under the symbol GBG.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, we pay you more for converting your jewelry to cash.
Let's go to Brian in New Jersey. Hey, Brian, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, just want to let you know I did give you some jewelry. My jeweler offered me about $650, but you get a check in the mail tomorrow for about $1,200.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, it's all about honesty when converting your jewelry to cash.
Okay, let's go to Paul in Florida first. Hey, Paul, what's going on?
I want to commend you on the Tiger Metal Exchange. I just did a deal with you guys the other day.
Oh, good.
I'm very happy.
Well, I appreciate it. Now, Did you sell us jewelry, or did you buy coins off us?
I sold you jewelry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What we weighted at was less than you guys said, so, you're totally honest.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, we give you the tools to value your gold, and it's absolutely free. Call 866-618-8888 or log on to TigerMetalExchange.com. We've created the easiest, safest, and most honest cash for gold process. Tiger Metal Exchange. It's the only call you need to make.
Here's what people are saying about Tiger TV.
Let's go to John in Tampa. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
A wonderful day. I love your Tiger TV. I watch it every day. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, man, I appreciate you out there watching it. How long have you been watching the Tiger TV?
I'm watching almost a month now, and it's wonderful.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it's cool. You see the charts and everything. Thanks so much for the hard work.
Tiger TV, a great news service from TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by South American Silver Corporation. For more information, just click the South American Silver Corporation banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
Welcome back, folks. 877-927-6648. And again, thanks so much for joining us. And you want to stay tuned, because coming up at 12 noon is Victor Jones. It's going to be an absolute beautiful show to be able to take a look at options if you are if you trade options, this is a great resource that TFNN provides to you. Access to information, 1 hour free, uninterrupted, and so stay tuned for that show. And then from 3 to 4 today, the warm-up band for Tom O'Brien is Ken Shreve. You've got all the years of experience at IBD coming to you, and breakout investing, which is such a cool way to be able to take a look at trading. And, there's fundamentals involved, technicals involved, and so very cool program there. So tune into that 3 to 4, and then Tom will take it home today from 4 to 6. Now, what I have up on my screen here, and I showed this during the first hour when I kick things off at 9 o'clock, as I often do, I go ahead and take a look at the futures market, take a look at what's going on inside the dollar index. And what you can see here, and if you looked at yesterday's show, I had the pattern set up. Now, I didn't draw the pattern in here just simply to try to keep the screen a little bit lower. But you have heard me say, I'm sure you have, that the importance of the power of these butterfly and Gartley patterns and the sacred geometry. And what we see here in yellow was a 1.272 butterfly expansion. What you also heard me say yesterday was when we gap down into the 1.272 area, which you can see here by this open area of price, if you will, that was signaling to us that's wide price spread. You don't necessarily see it. You've got to use your visualization in order to be able to see the candle, at least you do with regard to my feed and my screen. But when you have a gap down, you've got some power. And when you're gapping down, or you've got long candles as you're coming into these sacred geometry numbers, what they are telling you is you're either going higher or lower, depending on which direction you're looking at this. In this case here, this was a 1.272 butterfly expansion to the downside. So this was suggesting lower prices were coming because of the way that we gap down into it. And right now, you can see that lower prices are coming. You've got the S&P down 10 points, and what we are doing is we are already underneath the futures area of yesterday. We're just tackling it right now. That low yesterday was 1180.50. You're trading at 1180.25, and so you're tackling that. And where the ES mini contract, this is a 120-minute contract, where this wants to now go is this wants to complete a 1.618 butterfly expansion, which is right at that 1167 area. Does it have to do it today? No, but it's giving us enough of a signal that is where it wants to go and do its work. And so you want to understand when you fail at these levels here, 1.272, and the reason why you use that is because what it will do is it'll help you to understand your stops. It'll understand, and so it's one way to take a look at what your stop should be when you're entering a trade. So if you are trading a butterfly pattern, doesn't matter whether it's a butterfly buy or a butterfly sell, you want to understand, if it's a 1.272 that you're trading, you want to understand where the 1.618 is located. You want to understand what the average true range is before you get into that trade. Because if you can't take the heat, possibly using that type of a wide price spread, then what you might want to do is you might want to wait for the larger pattern to set up. In this case here, especially when it's a 1.272 and you know you're gapping down into it, what you really would like to be able to do is we'd love to be able to, remember, what we do is we buy fear and we sell greed. And that's really all that these chart patterns are really showing us. That's really what this sacred geometry does for us. It's a way to be able to mathematically have an expression that we can look at a chart where it can help us to understand fear and greed points so that we can go ahead and put our trades on. And that's really what it is, that I want to be able to teach you. So that's here on the ES mini contract. If we go take a look at the ETF indexes that are out there, and right now what I've got up on my screen here are the different 5-minute charts. What we can see here on a 5-minute chart basis, you can see on the diamonds at 4 p.m., you had some monster volume there. You had in that 5 minutes 775,000 shares. Let me just refresh this, make sure that I've got all of the current data. We'll go ahead and blow up the Dow. And one of the tools that I've got, the diamonds I should say, and one of the tools that I've got turned on this is the tool that helps me to map out what's going on in between swing points. So I can take a look and see if there's some sacred geometry numbers. This helps me to understand when you're doing a move of a move. In this case here, if we take a look at, we'd go back to a couple of different swing points. One on the 5-minute chart, you can go back to 2:05 in the afternoon yesterday, and you did 75 million shares there. And when you came down and you tested it with 265 million shares this morning at 11 o'clock. So let's look at those numbers again. We were coming down at 2 p.m. yesterday, 2:05 p.m., with 75,000 shares. And you are coming down and testing that area today with 265,000 shares at 11 a.m., just as Tom and I were ending our Money Masters show. When you come down, even though you didn't break that area, the low on that bar where we were testing that had the 75,000 shares at 205 on November 21st, the low on that was 114.41. And where we did, we came down and we tested it. We got down to 114.36, and you closed at 114.50. Well, even though you closed back above it, you could take a look at that as being a swing point that's out there. You could also see it being a move of a move, if you will. But because we can't, and when you do a move of a move, you do something a little bit different. Well, what does the diamonds do? It does a .382 retracement, the least retracement possible. When you only do a .382 retracement, folks, that rubber band explodes, and then you have some movement, further movement, larger movement, in this case here, to the downside. And where you got another signal there was that as you came to that swing point, you were coming into it with substantially more volume. I don't know, what's the, it's probably 5 to 1. So even though you didn't break it on the first time, said you were going to go test that and take that, and right now what you're doing is you're trading below that area. And when you actually busted through it, just to take a look at the volume, you busted through it with 137,000 shares. Now what are you doing? Well, now what it's doing, if you're taking a look at the 5-minute chart, and it works this way no matter what the time period is that you trade. Just simply from a radio show standpoint, it's easier just to be able to show you this stuff live as it's working and be able to interpret it as we're doing it. And right now what it's doing, it's going back to 1150 yesterday. 1150, you did 119,000 shares, and that 119,000 shares, when you came through it, was going, you had 137,000 shares. So you busted that swing point, if you will, with volume. And let's see what else we have here. And what you can see today, or you can see really going into yesterday's close here at 3:50 in the afternoon, you can see this .382 area. All that you did yesterday was you made a .382 retracement up. So 877-927-6648. Give me a call, or we'll go take a look at the NASDAQ. We'll take a look at what's leading on the way up and what's leading on the way down. How about that? It's Apple and Amazon. We'll be right back, folks.
Put the power of the Chapman Wave methodology to work for you. No matter what market you trade, what time frame you trade in, or your trading style, the opening call, Basil Chapman's daily market newsletter, is bursting with the information and trades you need to become a more successful trader.
I've been using Basil Chapman's Chapman Wave methodology for several years now. His Chapman Wave can be used for any time period for not only equities, but futures, currencies, commodities. I've been also a subscriber of his opening call, which I find an invaluable tool to help me analyze the potential of the market each day. He gives you opportunities to go short and long. It includes recommendations on stocks. I strongly recommend people using the Chapman Wave, and I very, very strongly support the use of his opening call.
To find out more about Basil Chapman and his Chapman Wave methodology, and to get your 2-week free trial of the opening call, a $64 value, visit tfnn.com today.
Hi, folks. Steve Rhodes here. Tom O'Brien and I need your help. Together, let's change the cash for gold industry once and for all. Now is the time to unleash the game changer, and that's you, folks. We've all seen the power of viral marketing. It's overthrown dictators, and now it's time to rid the thieves in this cash for gold industry. Together, we can change this industry in a heartbeat. You know about our industry-leading payouts, our free tools, our video valuation, and the education that we provide to help folks value their jewelry. Tom and I are experts and the industry's most trusted team. Please join us now by spreading the word to your entire email list. We'll pay you 5% of the total payout, which on average would be $50 per transaction. 100 transactions is $5,000 in your pocket. We'd rather put our marketing dollars in your pocket and more money in your referrals pocket. Go to TigerMetalExchange.com and click on the Become a Partner button to join our team. Let's start a revolution, folks. We can't do it without you. TigerMetalExchange.com, the only click you need to make. Studies show that 10,000 hours is what it takes to achieve outstanding results, unless you use the power of leverage. The power of leverage, folks, is key to attaining outstanding success in your trading and investing. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily trading and investment newsletter. Let me take your trading to a new level, a whole new level. Let me teach you the secrets that the real Money Masters use each and every day to produce consistent financial results. On top of that, I'll transform your life in ways you never thought imaginable. You'll overcome hurdles like an Olympian. Here's the beauty. I'm so certain that I'll transform your life. I'm giving you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Time, folks. Something you'll never get back. The time is now to take action. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com and order Mastering Probability. It'll change your life forever.
Homeowners, did you know a burglar could break into your home and get away in just 5 minutes? A locked door may not be enough to keep a thief out of your home. Think about what you can lose, and then think about this. Now you can get a free security system monitored by ADT, the leader in home security. Pick up your phone now and get free hardware, free medical and fire alert, and free activation. It's an $850 value. Just call Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer, at 1-800-949-8207. You'll get 24-hour protection, and there's no cost for parts or activation. So call now about a free security system monitored by ADT. Call 1-800-949-8207. $99 installation charge. 36-month monitoring agreement at $35.99 a month. Call for terms and conditions to this offer and protect your home license numbers. Call now. 1-800-949-8207. That's 1-800-949-8207.
Go long, America! Purchase Tom's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, your ultimate trading mastery system. Before December 31st, you will receive in excess of $300 in trading education.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
Welcome back, folks, and thanks for joining me again. Stay tuned for Victor Jones coming up from 12 to 1 doing the Options Hour commercial uninterrupted. So I saw a little message go across the den as I was just scanning some of the monitors that I've got in here, and somebody was asking about the small caps, the IWM. So that's what I've got up on my screen here, and what you can see in yesterday's action, what it did is it completed an A to B equals C to D. So it did a 1-to-1, which would have completed right in the, let's see, what's the price range here, about looks like about $69 and some change. And what it did yesterday, if you take a look at yesterday's action, first, you crossed the B point. The B point on the IWM was the November 1st day. You had 110 million shares. Now, you gapped down through it yesterday, but the volume you had was 58 million. So what's more important? Is it the gap or is it the volume? Well, you really don't know, but the gap always signals some strength here. So you want to be paying attention to that. When you are completing a pattern, whether it's an ABC pattern, whether it's a retracement, coming into one of the either a retracement or expansion, you want to be able to pay attention to those gaps because they're really powerful things, if you will, about price and movement and where a market might be going. So you completed that. You tested the swing point, the high of the swing point. In fact, I covered this during one of the shows yesterday. Somebody was in the TZA, and it was coming into the October 20th swing point. Now, that October 20th swing point had 90 million shares. You touched it yesterday. You only had 58 million shares. You closed above it. So that was a rejection. You completed an A to B equals C to D. But what you want to understand, these markets move in synergy. So when you're taking a look at the small caps or you're taking a look at any of these indexes, what you really want to be able to do is you want to start going and taking a look at, one, what are all four indexes doing? What was going on in the Dow? What was going on in the SPYs? What was going on in the Qs, if you will, or the NASDAQ, or the NDX 100, or just the composite? What was going on there? And what you also want to be able to do, while or I assume that you know now, because I shared this with you yesterday and showed you the correlation between the dollar index and the markets. If you finally are starting to come around and say you're going to be bullish the dollar, if you're going to take that approach and you're able to see the correlation between the dollar index and our markets, the way they trade, to me, it's almost impossible to be long the index. You can be long some stocks, for sure, but being long the index where you've got that correlation that exists, That just doesn't, to me, that just doesn't fit here. And right now what we see, how you can trade that is when the dollar index gets back to the top of its channel area, and I'll pull up the dollar index here, then it makes it, or at least halfway up there, then it makes it a little bit easier to go ahead, and reverse and take the other side of the trade. Or wait for the, that would be on the short side. On the long side, what you'd want to do is you'd want to see the dollar index come all the way down into that channel and then take a position. Where is it out here? The little guy is hiding on me. Where is the king dollar? Here we go. So if we take a look at the dollar index here and we take a look at this channel that it's in, until the dollar index starts to get down towards the bottom of this blue line, you wouldn't want to take a long position. But if you take a look, if we go back real quickly here to the ETF, to the IWM, what it's doing right now to help answer the question that's out there is what you are doing is you are trading into this swing point here. If you close into that swing point from October 20th, it really doesn't matter what the volume is. We know we're on a holiday week, if you will. If you close into that, then, where you really want to get a release of information is going to be at the bottom of that, which is 67.75. Or more likely a 1 to 1.618 A to B equals C to D, which would take you down to the 0.618. So hopefully that helps you, folks. Stay tuned for Victor Jones, and thanks so much for being here with me. I absolutely love doing this. Have a great day, a great afternoon, and I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow, 9 a.m. sharp. Until then, folks, live with gratitude.
Well, it's always better when we're together.